All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a feeling that haunts some of the most successful people in the world. It's that persistent, nagging sense that you're a complete fraud. It's called imposter syndrome, and today we are going to unpack what it is, where it comes from, and most importantly, what you can do about it.
So does this sound familiar? You're in a meeting, maybe you just got a promotion, or you're starting some big new project, and this tiny voice in your head starts whispering, "You don't belong here. Any minute now, they're all going to realize you're not as smart as they think." If you have ever felt that, you are so not alone.
In fact, get this. Research suggests that around 70% of people experience these feelings at some point. 70%! That is a massive number, and it includes people from every walk of life. We're talking students, top executives, you name it. This tells you right away it's not some rare problem. It's a shared human experience.
Now, psychologists have a formal name for this, the imposter phenomenon. And the key words in this definition are really everything: internal experience and despite objective evidence. This is not about you actually being incompetent. It's about this huge disconnect between your real-world accomplishments and how you feel about them.
So let's get into the heart of it, shall we? In this first part, we're going to explore what this feeling truly is and trace it all the way back to its psychological roots. This whole idea was first identified way back in 1978 by two psychologists, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes. They were studying these super high-achieving women who, despite all the proof of their success, just felt like they were faking it. This original insight really nails the core paradox. External success doesn't shut down that internal doubt.
Okay, so if it's not actually about your ability, then where in the world does this powerful sense of being a fraud come from? Let's dig into the psychological soil where these doubts first start to grow.
Modern research points to this really powerful trio of preconditions. Okay, so fear of failure is pretty easy to understand, right? The anxiety that you're not going to live up to expectations. But fear of success is just as big a deal. That worry that if you succeed, it'll just bring on new pressures, or maybe even alienate you from people. And kind of holding it all together is often a foundation of low self-esteem, which makes it almost impossible to actually believe in your own wins.
And, the original research from Clance and Ames showed how these feelings can actually start in our families. For instance, maybe you were labeled the sensitive or the social one, while your sibling was the smart one. So now, when you succeed, you think it must be your charm, not your brain. Or the flip side. Maybe you were told you were a perfect genius. The very first time you actually have to work hard for something, you think, oh no, I'm not really smart. The whole thing's a sham.
Now, this isn't just some abstract feeling. It is a real, tangible barrier. So let's look at the concrete ways these internal doubts can actively sabotage your professional life.
And make no mistake about it, researchers have flagged the imposter phenomenon as a major roadblock to moving forward in your career. It is not just in your head. It directly affects the choices you make, the opportunities you say yes or no to, and the ambitions you even allow yourself to have.
The impact here is incredibly specific. For students, these feelings hit career planning the hardest. They just struggle to even map out a clear strategy. For professionals, it's the motivation to lead that takes the biggest dive. People will actively avoid leadership roles because they're terrified of being exposed. Across the board, it just makes us hesitate, play it safe, and aim for less than we're truly capable of.
I mean, the data shows this really clear inverse relationship. As those feelings of being an imposter go up, these critical career drivers, planning, striving, the ambition to lead, they all go down. So this feeling isn't just holding you back, it's actively pulling you in the opposite direction of your potential.
Okay, so we've defined the problem. We've seen the damage it can do. But we are not ending on that note. Let's pivot to the most important part, a powerful, practical toolkit for rewriting that negative inner script. So here it is, a simple, actionable framework. 3 steps you can start practicing literally today to take back control. Number 1, internalize your goals. 2, acknowledge your accomplishments. And 3, share your feelings. Let's break each of those down.
Okay, this first step comes straight from Stoic philosophy, and it is a fundamental shift in how you see things. Stop focusing on external outcomes that are outside of your complete control, like, winning an award or getting that specific promotion. Instead, focus entirely on what you can control: your effort, your preparation, your attitude.
This tennis analogy just makes it crystal clear. The goal, win the match, sets you up for failure because, well, you can't control your opponent's skill. But the goal, play to the best of my ability, that is 100% within your power. If you achieve that, you've succeeded, no matter what the scoreboard says at the end.
Next up, you need to become a lawyer for your own competence. Seriously, start collecting the evidence. Keep a file, a document, an email folder, whatever works, of every single piece of positive feedback you get. When you feel like a fraud, you open it and you read it. And when someone gives you a compliment, your only job is to say thank you. No dismissing it, no downplaying it. Just accept it.
And finally, you have to break the silence. Impostor syndrome absolutely thrives in isolation. It wants you to think you're the only one. But sharing this feeling with a trusted friend or a mentor or a therapist is so powerful. The moment you hear them say, "Me too," the shame just loses its grip. You realize you're part of a very large, very successful club.
And this kind of brings us full circle, doesn't it? The beautiful paradox is that by letting go of the need to win and focusing only on your own effort, your internal goal, you free yourself up to perform better. You actually increase your chances of getting that external success you were so worried about in the first place.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. If that voice of doubt was silenced, if you fully owned your abilities and you weren't worried about being exposed as a fraud, what would you attempt? What would you build? What would you dare to achieve?